What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, it's your Stunner, and I know you guys been asking for it. I know it's been a while, and I'm gonna deliver, starting with video 1. I don't know how many parts this is gonna be, but I'm gonna keep them short and sweet, or kind of short, around 5-6 minutes, so you guys can get all the information you need to mod your controllers. People been asking me to mod their controllers. I actually have gotten away from modding controllers for people except for close friends. I don't do it as a business anymore because I just have gotten into so many other opportunities, and I really don't have the time it takes to do it correctly. But I'm going to show you guys what it takes, and I'm going to show you guys the tools that you need, because I've been getting a bunch of responses saying, what do we need to do this? So stand by, because here we go. And this may be a bit shaky because I'm hand holding it, but the information is worth it, trust me. Let's start with what you need to mod a controller. There's a lot of stuff you need to do it correctly, and there's some stuff you don't necessarily need. Let's go down the list. Very first thing you need is a soldering iron. And if you look at my soldering iron, this one here is a 50-watt iron, and it's a great iron. I've had this one for a while, but yeah, this is my 50-watt iron that I've had, and it's a Tenma, and it's got an on-off switch, and you can turn up the intensity or not. And I don't normally set it on max. I set my intensity somewhere in the middle here. But this is a great soldering iron, and you can get these on eBay or pretty much anywhere for like 30 bucks. So I definitely suggest, if you're going to be modding controllers, that you invest in a soldering iron. Other things that you have to have is, I wish I could patent this because I know people weren't doing it before I was, but the hole punch. You gotta have a hole puncher, and what you use this hole puncher for is, let's see if I can find one in my box of tools, which we will get to. You use the hole puncher to punch a hole in the piece of rubber that you'll be modifying, so that when you add a PS button, the light will show through, like my finger's showing through right now. And when that light shows through, you know, it'll show through into your PS button or whatever you choose to put there. But you need a hole puncher to make a nice circular hole, and I made this one, like through trial and error, a little too big, but I can still use it, but that's why I got it in here as a spare part. So that's just something I wanted to show you guys. The other thing you need to see, very important while we're talking about this button, and we will go back over this again, but if you look here, I guess I can show you. If you look, come on, focus, guy. Hold it. Sorry, guys. If you look here and here, you have to keep those points just like here and here, because these are the points that actually activate the controller. So you can cut all around those, but you have to keep those points if you want your PS button to show through. So I just wanted to show you that, but that's what the hole puncher is for. Let's look at some other stuff. Other than a soldering iron and a hole punch, you're going to need something to cut your wires with, and these will do the trick. These are wire snips. There's also a set of tools called dikes that are sharp on the end. You can get these all really cheap at like any auto parts store, Walmart, and that cuts the wire really easy and nice and straight. So you don't necessarily have to have this if you have this, but you need something to cut the wire with. Another thing you're going to need is a blade, and I took 2 of my favorites and put them out just so you can see. You're going to need some sort of blade just as a multi-purpose tool, but be careful not to cut yourself. Other thing you're going to need is a pair of pliers, and I'm using, if you look at my hand, I like small pliers and small dikes when I'm working with small boards, small components, so that's what I want to use there. Other thing you're going to need is a good drill. You're going to need a good drill. This is not a good drill, it's a cheapo drill, but you're going to need that definitely. And you're going to need an assortment of drill bits. You can get these very cheap pretty much anywhere. You're going to need a good multi-purpose screwdriver like I have here. And this screwdriver is cool because if you open the top, there are different sizes all throughout. And this screwdriver costs about $8 at Home Depot or Lowe's. I strongly suggest you get a good screwdriver if you're going to be modding controllers. You're going to need a Sharpie. because that's how you're going to mark where you're going to drill and where you're going to cut things. And if you're going to do a whole lot of modding like I do, I probably modded over, I don't know, 150 controllers. You need a box of tools. And if you look here, I've got all sorts of tools. And these two really go together, but these are spare boards. These are boards from even older controllers that I'm testing, the rumble motors and other things. And these are all my spare parts from battery.